On the outside, for so many of us, pride looks like celebration, like flags, glitter, community, and a whole lot of fun. But behind the rainbow, behind the smiles, there's a truth that many of us don't see. According to the Trevor Project in 2024, LGBTQ plus youth are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their non-LGBTQ plus peers. And for LGBTQ plus adults, the statistics aren't much better. The risk of depression, anxiety, and PTSD is significantly higher due to discrimination, rejection, and trauma. As future and current behavioral health professionals, we need to understand, we have to understand, this isn't just about identity. This is about life or death sometimes. I've done a lot of research in this area over the last 5 weeks. I feel that being an ally and showing that this is important to me is important to be an advocate when, where, and however I can. In our world today, we often talk about mental illness in terms of biology and personal experience. But where we lack is talking about the systems, how social, political, and institutional factors can and do impact mental health outcomes for LGBTQ plus individuals. So let's take a look at a few key points that drive all of this home. First, let's talk about the minority stress theory. This theory explains how chronic stress from social stigma, discrimination, and internalized negativity can lead to long-term psychological distress. This isn't just about if you are or if you are not. This is about how society treats people who are. Then you look at access to affirming care. According to the Human Rights Campaign in 2023, over 50% of LGBTQ plus people have experienced a mental health professional who either lacked the knowledge or made them feel unsafe discussing that identity. Imagine going to the doctor and not feeling like the doctor has the ability to care for you. I would guess that is terrifying. That's a barrier that we can't afford to ignore in our field. Intersectionality matters and deserves to be recognized here as well. Black and brown LGBTQ plus individuals face compounded discrimination. Trans women of color in particular face disproportionate violence and discrimination, which can lead to trauma that goes untreated. Imagine navigating a healthcare system that doesn't recognize your name, misgenders you, or refuses to see you at all. We have to understand that these pitfalls can be life-threatening. You hear stories in life that stick and you hear ones that don't. And in researching the last 5 weeks, I found an article, and when it came time to do my own Herzing Talks, there was a story that stuck that I right away wanted to go back to. I read a story of a client who told her new therapist that she had not seen a therapist in about 5 years. And when asked questions on why, the client stated it wasn't because they didn't want help. They very much did want help. It was because every time that they walked into a new office, they had to make a decision. When you go to a therapist, you don't always find the right one on the first try, right? You have to jive with that person. You have to connect. Do I lie about who I am every time I walk into a new office, or do I take the risk of being judged again? And this was something that this person just wasn't willing to do for a period of around 5 years. But they found a great therapist and they were able to move forward. So it was a great story in the end. But imagine in this field that we all have a passion for, this should never be a choice someone is faced to make. We should always be a safe place. There's a visual here on the screen with some statistics, references included. And every time I've researched this topic, I have never been less heartbroken by what I find. 41% of LGBTQ plus youth seriously considered suicide in the past year. 1 in 3 transgender individuals report being refused healthcare due to their identity. Again, refused healthcare? Come on, this can't happen. LGBTQ plus people of color face higher rates of psychological distress than white LGBTQ plus individuals. So what do we do as a whole to make our world a better place? Right? There isn't a one size fits all answer here, but what I do ask of all of you is to be an affirming ally. What does that mean? It means educate yourself continuously on LGBTQ plus issues. Educate others. Use inclusive and affirming language. Advocate for systematic change within your workplace. Start small. right? Change doesn't happen overnight. Change your email signature to include pronouns. That one small act alone says, I see you and you're safe here. As behavioral health professionals, we're in the business of healing. But remember, healing can only happen when people feel safe, seen, and supported. And for the LGBTQ plus community, that starts with us. Thanks for joining my Herzing Talks.